I threw $300 straight into the trash. And the wild part is, it was both on purpose and on accident. I was packing up my hobby room for a big move when I saw it, sitting in a clear plastic bag. I looked at it, knew exactly what it was, and still thought, yeah, I don't need this anymore, and pitched it into the trash. 2 weeks later, and I realized that I in fact did not know what was inside that clear plastic bag, and what I thought was my 10-year-old workhorse airbrush was actually my $300 Angel Heraldez CR2 Plus from Harder and Steenbeck. So obviously, I needed a replacement. But that mistake got me thinking, if I had to replace more than just my airbrush, what would my perfect painting kit look like? Today, I'm building my ultimate setup. If I had to start from scratch, these are the first things I would go out and purchase. In a way that I could finally keep things organized so that I never experience a mistake like this again. But before we talk about my airbrush, let's start smaller, because though magical, an airbrush is not the first thing I would purchase. If I had to start over, the very first thing that I would buy would be a Winsor Newton Series 7 round watercolor brush. This belly holds a ton of paint, which means smoother applications and fewer stops to reload and mess up your flow. The snap is perfect, so every stroke bounces right back into that crisp point. And the tip, razor sharp. With this brush, you can lay down the large, crisp brushstrokes to cover a cape and then immediately turn around and do the tiny points inside your miniature's eyes, all without switching tools. It's the brush that does it all. I have tried many brushes. In fact, I have a whole video dedicated to testing different brushes, and even though some of those brushes were good or even great, I still always find myself drawn back to the Winsor Newton Series 7. But the best part is that you can buy this brush off Amazon. I recommend the link in my description box, which I will make a little bit of money from if you do end up clicking it. Not anything extra for you, just a bit for me. But I use that listing specifically because there are fake Winsor Newton brushes listed on Amazon, and I have only ever had good experiences with the listing that's in my description box. If Winsor Newton isn't in your budget, Game Envy also makes great sable hair brushes. Their snap isn't quite as good as the Winsor Newton, but if you're looking for something less expensive or need to fill out your kit, the Game Envy sable hair brushes are a good staple. And in the theme of keeping us from throwing out money, I recommend cleaning your brush after every session, even though I literally don't do that. But the soap I use is just plain dish soap. Continuing small, the next thing I would purchase is the Game Envy hobby holder. And no, this video is not sponsored by Game Envy. I know, it seemed like a handle would be a silly thing to immediately go out and purchase, but I absolutely swear by the hobby holder. The hobby holder is the only painting grip I will use. The hook attachment helps me steady my hand for finer details like painting eyes, and the larger grip gives me a place to rest my wrist. The grip, combined with resting my elbows on my desk, means no more awkwardly floating hand, no more shaking lines, just smoother, cleaner painting. Honestly, it feels like painting with training wheels. Except these training wheels don't just help make painting easier, they actually also make you better at painting. If you've ever wondered what the secret product is to make you a better miniature painter, then this is the one. But here's the thing, having all these great tools doesn't matter if you don't have a great place to keep them safe and organized. And clearly, I need a place to keep my tools safe and organized. That's where this week's sponsor, Cridify, comes in. This is the Cridify Modular Paint Station. Basically a toolbox designed specifically for miniature painters. It's got modular trays for paints, detachable brush holders, 2 built-in water cups, a wet palette, even spots for miniature bits. In other words, it's an entire workstation in one compact container. While I love the portability of this kit, the real magic is this wet palette. It is my go-to travel wet palette. Whether I'm going to conventions, paint meetups, or even just working away from my desk, being able to carry and store everything I need is a game changer. So if you don't have the space for a full desk setup, or you just want to keep your materials safe and travel ready, I can't recommend the Crytify modular station enough. It's the best way to keep you painting no matter where you are. Be sure to check out Crytify's website down in my description box. Paint is where things get tricky, because unlike brush or handle, there's no single paint set that's going to be perfect for everyone. If I had to start over, my baseline would be Too Thin Coats. It's the most versatile line that I've used. I really enjoyed the consistency, it has a wide range of colors, it's really opaque and is just perfect for 90% of the projects that I want to do. If you need one line that covers basically everything, then Too Thin Coats is a great place to start. But ending there wouldn't be truthful to me as a painter, as there are several colors that are just non-negotiable that I use in almost every single project. These are the colors that I have backups of just in case I run out unexpectedly, because I can't work without them. If you like vibrant colors or like mixing colors, then I highly recommend Chimera. For me specifically, it is the Chimera Magenta. I have several Chimera Magenta bottles in my drawer just in case. Otherwise, I love Brick Red and Camouflage Green from Reaper. Those three colors make up almost all of my competition pieces. I use them all the time. Lately, I've been testing Ultra Crow and I've really been enjoying them. But before I say that they are my baseline, these are the first paints that I would buy, they do require more thorough testing. But if you're starting fresh and you can't go out and buy a whole new line, buy the colors that you use the most frequently. If you're not sure what those are, then open up your completed miniatures drawer or look on Instagram. Is there a theme that you see repeated? Are there color combinations that you use over and over? I paint purple, magenta, red, and olive green over and over. Honestly, I could probably go several projects owning no blue paints and wouldn't even notice, because blue is just not a color that I use frequently. And now the one you've all been waiting for, airbrush, the disaster that started this video. After throwing $300 into the trash, I had to decide, was I going to branch out and try something new? Or was I going to stick what I already knew and loved? After some consideration, I decided that since this was a bit of an emergency, I just bought the same airbrush again. Though I did get the upgraded version, the Harder & Steenbeck CR, the Angel Heraldez Harder and damn it! The Angel Heraldez Harder & Steenbeck CR2, the Angel Heraldez Harder & Steenbeck CR Plus 2-in-1. Since I needed a new airbrush ASAP, I just wanted one that I knew would work. This one comes with both a 0.2 and 0.4 needle, meaning I'll be able to airbrush basically anything, and the control is out of this world. I've tried other brands. I just realized I still said it wrong. The Angel Heraldez Harder & Steenbeck Infinity CR Plus 2-in-1. Good enough. I've tried several other brands, Pashi, Iwata, Badger, and just none of them have the super fine control that I'm able to get with the Infinity CR Plus. This airbrush has been sitting on my desk for years, and it just seems silly to branch out and find a replacement when I already had one that I loved. So yeah, the crown jewel of my kit didn't change. It just reminded me how much I rely on it. I've been sent many wet palettes over the years, but if I had to choose just one, it would come down to these two heavy hitters, the Redgrass Games wet palette and the Game Envy wet palette. Honestly, both of them are excellent. The Game Envy palette comes with paint brush storage, and the Redgrass Games has reusable paper, which is also really cool. Both keep my paints wet and working just like they're supposed to. And really, I use them interchangeably, just depends what's at the top of my drawer at that time. So here's how I would choose between them. It comes down to what else you're buying off this list. If you're already buying the hobby holder, then why not get the Game Envy wet palette? If you have plans to buy the Redgrass Games Light, then get the Redgrass Games palette. It really all comes down to what's more convenient for you and not necessarily which one is better. And lastly, here are a few other miscellaneous things I would buy in a heartbeat. They're not anything flashy, but they're little workhorses that I would definitely notice if I didn't have them. All right, rapid fire. Primer. Dark purple is a requirement for me. My go-to is the New Worlds primer. Otherwise, a Style Res all the way. Poster tack. You gotta be able to have a way to attach your miniature to your handle. Poster tack is reusable, lasts forever. If yours isn't sticky anymore, just pull it apart until it gets to be that lighter blue color and it should become sticky again. Silly putty. Great for masking with an airbrush. Put it onto your model, peel it off, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue or a stringy mess. Water squirt bottles, the unsung heroes of airbrushing. I love using these to clean my airbrush, and I also occasionally use them to rehydrate my wet palette if it's getting a little dry. Matte varnish. I swear by matte varnish. My go-tos are AK Interactive or Green Stuff World. Many paints like speed paints leave a glossy finish on your miniature, which in my opinion makes them look more like toys than actual works of art. If I wanted something to look shiny, I would paint it to look shiny. Therefore, a matte varnish is a requirement for me. White ink. If you have an airbrush and you want to be doing zenithal, you need to have a white ink. White inks have smaller particles that allow you to lay down a consistent layer that allows you to go from gray all the way up to white without any of the speckling that is traditional when you use white opaque paints in your airbrush. Lastly, snips and cutting tools. I don't particularly have any that I recommend, just that you should definitely have some for your starter kit. So yeah, I threw out my $300 airbrush. But hypothetically, rebuilding my kit showed me what really matters. If you want to buy literally anything you've seen in this video, it will be linked down in my description box. The Amazon links are affiliate links. That means that I'll make a little bit of money if you click on them. You can click on them and buy anything at all. You could buy a leaf blower, some new earbuds. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cost anything extra for you, it's just a little bit for me. If you want to support me outside of Amazon affiliate links, you can comment, you can subscribe, you can join me over on Patreon, join my every other day Sunday live stream, or get feedback on your miniature painting. If you would like to see me in person, I will be teaching 3 classes at Dragonfall in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin this October. I will include that link in my description as well. All right, thanks so much. I'll see you next time.